Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Awesome Dynamic Show. I'm Terry Levin, the Director of Sales at Awesome Dynamic. We have a great program set up for you today. We're going to run through a couple different topics that we think are really important. I do have our owner and fearless leader, Paul Dorian, with us today. Also, I have Blake from Florida, and I have Robin in beautiful Chicago, Illinois. With no delay here, we want to get right into things. So, Robin, why don't you go ahead and talk to us about our first topic of the afternoon?
Sure. All right, so let's dive right into the blog here. So this blog is all about calling CEO's 5 SEO basics to master. So if you're a small business owner and you are just feeling kind of clueless about SEO, this is definitely the article for you. So the first thing I wanted to start off with is that you don't actually have to fully understand SEO, just like, if you hire a lawyer, you don't have to know everything about law. But you would need to know the basics in order to really get a good foundation, in order to ask the right questions to your SEO team, and also to make sure that you're delegating the right items to your in-house team.
Robin, I'm going to sneak in here for just a second. I
Sure.
apologize, but I run into people all the time, and you guys might think this is not the case, but it is. That people don't know what SEO even stands for and what it really means. So, search engine optimization, and I just wanted to say that because, believe it or not, there are plenty of people out there that aren't sure about that. I also wanted to mention real briefly that we do have our chat box on the website. So anybody who's watching who would like to get involved, ask some questions, comments, etc., go ahead, and we're monitoring those and ready for you when you're ready. And Robin, again, I apologize for cutting in. Have at it.
All right, and I'll just go ahead and click that here, webinars.
Thank you, Robin.
And
click that cloud, yeah.
Yep.
You just punch in your name there, and then you'll be able to chat.
And this type of question right here.
The webinar is right above it, so you can just play it, and then you can chat while it's happening. So I'll say hello to Robin. There, and then Robin say, hey. And it comes right back. So if you're in here, we'll be monitoring your questions, and we're going to let Robin get through her content on this particular blog, and we'll be able to answer any questions you can ask them here. If you're logged in through the Hangouts, we'll monitor it there. But Robin, please continue.
Sure. So things CEOs and business owners need to know about SEO. So in order to know the basics, you're usually going to have some sort of SEO budget. There's a lot of different ways you can structure it. A lot of companies, they have in-house SEOs, usually if you have a larger budget, but most of the time they end up using their existing staff and training them, or hiring SEO or SEM consultants. And so there's a lot of different options you can do. And you can also use link building and AdWords for, these are all things that you would spend your SEO budget on. What I would highly recommend is definitely doing at least some SEO to start with and to get started right away, because when you are behind and your competitors are doing SEO, search engine optimization, or SEM, search engine marketing, they are just light years ahead of you. So if you don't get started right away, chances are that a bunch of your competitors are already doing this online. So SEO is a number of things. It's content writing, it's link building, it's having a blog on your website, it's networking with other businesses, it's online reviews. I mean, everything that you can think of to market yourself online, social media included as well, and just improving your website and just having everything in the correct on your website, and up to date with what Google likes to see. So yes, if you start an SEO campaign, you should not expect to see major results until about the, I would say, 3 to 6 month mark. After that, you can really gauge everything. You can go back into Google Analytics and see if your team that you hired is really doing the best job they can for you, and if there's a problem, that they know why there's a problem and how to fix it. So it's really about identifying the problems with your site and reaching your goals. And every website has a different goal. Some people want more traffic, some people want more volunteers for their organization. Some people want to sell more product. Some people want more contacts on the contact form, and more appointments created. So whatever your goal is for SEO, we can definitely measure it, and then start on whatever goals that you have. So the time factor is really where you're missing out if you don't have an SEO program now, because it's really kind of like, it can be compared to compound interest. Like if you start your 401k in your 20s versus starting it in your 50s, you're going to get more benefits even if you did it the same amount of time. But you're going to get more benefits if you start earlier, because you'll see the effect. Like, for example, if I have a press release and I put that press release out online, and I have a blog and I put that out online as well. Well, now you're going to get some of the adverse effects. For example, Google sees that your everything works in hand. So Google will see that you're completely updating your website all the time, and they'll be more likely to crawl your website more, and then you'll be higher up on the positions. And the time that your website has been around will also affect your SEO. And then the press releases will all work together. People will naturally start linking to your great content. So all of this thing really compounds, and over time you can get a lot more traffic, and you'll build a reputation online. And Google and search engines will start to see that, as well as real people will start to see that. So if you have a Facebook history of only a few days, and you see another company that has it continually posts for the last few years, and they post often, Google's going to see that as a big trust factor. So if Google, in order to trust someone, you have to start creating that relationship now. So that's why it's so important you can't just throw money at it and start SEO in 5 years from now. People that have a low budget right now will be doing better than people that have a high budget that start way later. So just in general. So it's definitely something you want to start today. All right. And starting SEO can be simple. It doesn't have to be a full SEO campaign. You can just start doing things on your site right now and start training on a few things, and then get more aggressive later. All right. The money factor. So you'll notice that SEO campaigns, you can do SEO from anywhere from free tools online all the way up to, tens of thousands of dollars a month. So why does that vary so much? That's because you have your budget really coordinates with what you can do SEO wise, and you can choose to be more aggressive with SEO, and you're going to see the return. I mean, for example, if you buy a TV commercial, or if you put ads in the newspaper, you may not know if you're seeing that return. But with SEO, it's very clear, and just a little bit now almost will always get you a return on your investment later. And there's very few companies out there that I would see that would put money into their SEO campaign and not at least see more customers, more traffic, and more positive results. So it's definitely worth it to spend some now, even though it might be a scary number at first, then to and you'll start seeing the results over 6 months, over the year mark. So, and maybe that's something that you guys can go ahead and talk about, just your return on your investment.
Well, I did want to jump in and just say one thing before we get to that. Is we find it interesting with SEO. We're able to do a lot of tracking and really demonstrate the progress that's being made, and that's probably much more able to demonstrate that with many other ways of marketing or selling or advertising. And we run into a lot of people who are asking about how we're going to do that, but they're not currently tracking whatever types of sales / marketing they're doing now. So a lot of times the SEO people, maybe because it's a little more mysterious to a lot of people, are asked to, how are we going to track this? How are we going to know it's working? We do have tons of tools to really demonstrate the progress that's being made. So I think that's a really important point that will make a lot of people feel a lot more comfortable as they jump in and get started. Paul, did you want to address a little bit about how the return on investment will happen?
Yeah. So when you're comparing SEO to some of the other traditional marketing methods that are out there, say it's billboards or it's a mailing campaign to the county that you're in, or it could even be a TV advertisement, radio advertisement. Those different methods of advertising are going to tell you, hey, you're going to reach this many people. But you have no idea how many of those people have actually decided to engage with your brand unless they actually call you. Whereas in the world of SEO, we're targeting specific words that people are searching, and we're having you come up for them, and there's nothing more targeted than that. And that's true return on investment. We're not just throwing some stuff up at the wall and hope it sticks, or yeah, this billboard, 30,000 people see it a day going down this road. Well, so what? How many of those people are actually getting an impression of my brand and coming to a website or calling or doing things with my brand? You just don't know. Well, with SEO, if you're a chiropractor, somebody looks for chiropractic care, and you're the first one that comes up, that's extremely focused and targeted, and you can draw them right into your brand. And if you're looking at all the different ways you could spend your money on marketing dollars, we feel it's one of the best, because your money is going to the people who are looking to pay you for your service right now.
And the other thing I would say, and this goes for any kind of marketing, but we always talk about, it's very important when you start your SEO program that the people in your office, whoever answers the phone, salespeople, whoever's in contact with these customers, is asking the right questions. And it's really probably the best and maybe the only way to really get the gauge of what's actually coming to your door is to be asking those questions for any advertising. I mean, the only way to really, unless you have a coupon that somebody's handing to you, you need to be asking, where did you find us? Where did you hear about us? Very important. And that helps in evaluating where you're at and what kind of return you're getting. All right. Want to get back to it on there, Robin?
Sure. All right. Creating change. Google is always changing it up. They change their algorithm twice a day. So when people do an SEO campaign, they're normally the things that they ask are, how long should I do this for? How much does it cost? When are we finished with SEO? Well, that would be like the same thing as saying, when is Pepsi done advertising Pepsi? They're never going to be done advertising because there's really no end to it. So with Google changing twice a day, you have to keep up with not only their changes, but also your competitors. So let's say you got 25-star reviews. You went to the top of Google, and now your competitors are way below you. You have blogs on your website, and you have tons of keywords on your website, and then you just stop. We've seen people get to the top and then slowly drop off, then drop off some more, and then they give us a call back again, and they say, okay, let's restart again. And then by that time, you're losing traction. So really, to keep up at the top, you have to do more than your competitors, and you have to consistently do more than your competitors. So it's not just about getting to the top, it's about staying at the top.
Robin, we had a client of ours who was an insurance agent who asked us that same question. How long do I have to do this? I said, when would it be a good time for me to get rid of my insurance? It's the same. It was really the same thing, and there is, as you mentioned, there is a residual effect to what we do with the SEO that's being done. So it's not going to disappear tomorrow, but over time, like you said, either it'll just start to wear away, or your competitors will jump all over it. So it's an ongoing thing. The other thing as a salesman that we hear sometimes is, oh, I already did my SEO. That doesn't really get you where you need to be. There's no, I did it and I'm done. It's an ongoing project.
Exactly. All right. And this one, tech geeks versus content geeks. I always get this question that people perceive, business owners perceive SEOs as like super high-tech people that just know all these tips and tricks, and they're going to fight your way to the top. And it's really just about really kind of old-fashioned work. I mean, you just need the content on your site. You need to make your site look great pictures, great pictures that make sense, that represent your brand. So it's a lot of just interpretation, and it's not necessarily always numbers, tech stuff, and so you have to kind of approach it as if it's like a marketing campaign where there's a big amount of creativity that goes into it. If you had to pick one thing for search engine optimization to really start ranking you up higher, it would just really be taking the time to make great content for your site. And through that, you should naturally be having all the great things that Google offers and boost you up to the top. I mean, yes, there are those little tips and tricks for SEO, but Google's designed it for the business owner, for every business across America that doesn't have a big budget for marketing. It's designed, Google's ranking system, to get you up to the top, even though you're competing with big guys. So that's definitely one thing that you would have to know as a business owner. And yeah, there's no end. Once you finish, you start over doing, like, once you have the perfect website with all of the pictures, all the videos you want, all your service pages, then you have to start over and start doing those pages over and over again. So it's really a never-ending process.
And Robin, we have some small business clients that are ranking, way higher than some really big businesses in the area. So, the small guy can still get it done. Just gotta keep at it and be persistent and be consistent.
And then the other thing that I wanted to weigh in on this was, this never-ending thing sounds like, oh my God, how am I ever going to have enough time to do all this different work? One of the things that we always talk about is creating a process that makes it very simple to do. So one thing that I have a couple of my employees do on one of the pages that we're working on to get ranked better for Amazon Consulting is to write an FAQ post, just a couple of sentences, and we just have a question, answer it, and that happens twice a week on this Amazon page. And you can see in the search results for this page, Google's actually saying when it was last updated compared to the other ones, and it's ranking quite high. And literally it takes them maybe 5 minutes to write this FAQ post a piece, but it's part of their weekly process. It's part of their job. It's something that they do. That's just one example. Another one is Robin, who wrote this blog that we're reviewing right now, has that as part of her weekly process. It's what she does. She writes a blog post, does some research. It's part of what she does as part of her job. So this way we can post that piece of content up on our website, and we can talk about it. These videos that we're doing with the webinars, we're not only doing a webinar to talk to you about it and answer your questions, but we're also taking these videos, and part of our process is Blake takes the video, cuts out the chunk that pertains to this blog, creates a separate video with a beginning and ending, intro and outro, and we put that YouTube video on the slide. So we've created created a real good structure for each person in the organization to have a piece of that content creation and constantly having that movement, unique content refreshing all the time everywhere, in a lot of different ways. But it starts with something small. Just start with, hey, I'm going to do this one thing this one time a week, and I'm going to consistently do that, and then we're going to build on it. And that's how you continue to grow and change, and you continue to build on that until you're able to get a lot of different things going all over the place. Does that make sense, Terry and Robin?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, do we want to talk a little bit about, typical time commitment to really getting a good SEO program off the ground?
Sure. So, when you're starting, again, if you can start with at least a couple hours a month, that'd be good. But ideally, someone should be spending at least 20 hours a month doing something for SEO. And one of the things we do is we teach people what are those things supposed to be. And if you really look at it, if there's 20 business days in a month and you spend 1 hour per day doing the right things, you could seriously do a lot of damage in terms of ranking and dominating your competitors in the search engines, so long as you're spending that time doing the right things. When I say the right things, you don't want to spend all that time doing Facebook stuff, because there's a lot of other stuff that you could do to rank locally for people who are searching for what you're doing. So, just start with some sort of time commitment and continue to move forward, and add on, but have a strategy going into it. But we'll let Robin finish up her blog post. Blake, you had a comment?
I just wanted to point out along that line is 20 hours a month to some people might not sound like much, but to other people it might sound like a lot. But I think you broke it down well a couple weeks ago and said that's really only 1 hour a day per business day. So Monday through Friday, an hour a day, that'll get you 20 hours. And otherwise, contact us.
Great, Robin. Do you want to get back to your going through the blog?
Sure. Okay, so it's great that you mentioned working with other teams, such as the web team, because you really want to just sprinkle in your SEO into all your other departments, just as you would if you had a traditional marketing campaign. You would let the other departments know what's going on here and coordinate with them. For example, if you had your PR team sends out a press release. Well, do you have your keyword in the first paragraph? Did you consult your SEO team to say what's the best title in terms of SEO, and are you going to put some backlinks in there, and what kinds of things are you going to improve on that already great press release? But if you put all of these small details for SEO, and we have a checklist full of them, you can take that press release and really ramp it up online so that it has lasting power online. So that press release that you paid hundreds of dollars for, or maybe even thousands of dollars for distribution, how can you stretch that budget that much more with just using a few SEO tips with a 1-hour training? We can make that press release last for years online and get you continual more traffic. So that's just one example of integrating SEO with the rest of your team. For example, the SEO and the web team. I mean, or the printed materials is perfect. Like you could, if you have one team printing out all of your business cards and printing out all of the handouts that you have at meetings or networking events, do you have your name, address, and phone number on those items? And is it consistent with the website? Is the logo consistent? Is the name of the business consistent? Does it have a comma inc period or comma inc no period? Those little things matter for SEO specifically. One of the biggest ranking factors online on Google is to have consistent NAP, which is name, address, and phone number. It's as if you were to open up 100 phone books in front of you and your business name had all different names, all different addresses, all different phone numbers. You would be confused on who to call. So if online on all these citation sites, which is any place with your name, address, and phone number, Facebook or yellowpages.com, those are all examples of citations. If those are all inconsistent, it's going to confuse Google just like it would confuse a human. So that's one of the biggest ranking factors, and if you're not working with the rest of your team to make that 100% consistent, and then they're just out of the loop, and you're gonna screw up your SEO basically. So yeah, so basically the point of this article was to tell business owners and CEOs at least the basics of SEO so that you know what you're doing when you hire an SEO team, and you also know what you're doing when you are checking up on your team to see if they're following through correctly.
All right. Well, on that subject, I'm wondering, Paul, we see all kinds of SEO out there, and, there's some that are very specifically planned for a particular business, a lot of sort of generic stuff out there. Is there a couple key questions that maybe a CEO or somebody looking to get into an SEO program would want to ask to get the ball rolling and get an idea on whether they are getting a customized, specific plan as opposed to one of these just generic things that's out there?
Yeah, so one of the biggest red flags right out the gate is going to be somebody who says, well, we're going to do one blog post a month. We're going to do 4 citations a week. They're basically going to throw a whole bunch of different things that happen regularly, and they're going to say this is what you're going to get every single month. And that to me is a red flag, because that means that they're not evaluating where you fall versus your competition to see if that's the best plan for you. I mean, yeah, creating the content on a regular basis and doing citations is important, but if you're really going to do it right, you want to see where your website is and where you fall in the search engines, and compare that to the competitors that you're looking to get ahead of in the rankings. So if they're just saying, hey, this is what you get as a cookie cutter package, that's really not going to, you don't know if it's going to give you any value. Because just because it works for one company doesn't mean it works for you. And maybe in a big city it's going to work, and maybe in the suburb it's not, or maybe the other way around. You just have no idea. Another thing that you could do is ask them specific questions about what they're going to be doing. So, are you gonna help me find which keywords are going to help me get the most traffic to my website, and then how are you going to prove it? Is the next question. How are you going to get them there? Is it going to be my website that's going to come up on the first page of Google? A lot of times, some of these different folks that call you and advertise you, cold calls, are going to be people that are saying that, oh, your Google listing is in jeopardy. Or even if you work with some of the other big aggregators out there, like let's say Yelp or any of these, some of these other companies that are out there, they say they have a spot reserved for you in the first page of Google. Well, it's not for you in your website. It's actually a page that they own, that they put you on, and depending on how much you pay compared to your competitors is where you show up on their page, but it's not your website showing up. So that's a key question right there. Is it going to be my website that's showing up on the first page of Google, that #1 spot, or is it some other page that then links to my site? So that's a key question to ask too.
And I think, we also see some of these scenarios where the website is part of the package, and the day you dissolve that deal, you no longer have a website.
Right, and that website is a piece of property that you own, albeit not really tangible, but it is a piece of property that you own. And a lot of those companies, like you said, Terry, will create this website, and as soon as you stop working with them and paying that monthly fee, it seems like you got the website for free, but then all of a sudden it goes away when you stop paying. Also, it should be located at your domain, and you should own that domain. I haven't seen much of that, but that kind of stuff can happen too. But there's certainly some key questions. Is it going to be my website on the first page? Are you going to customize a plan based on what makes sense for my company, the competitors that I'm trying to get in front of? How are you going to show how my website's going to get in front of them for the different key terms that I want to show up for in my area or nationally, depending on what you're doing? So those are probably some of the key questions that I would ask.
Okay, great. And the other thing that I think we might want to address real quick here, also, we've had some incredible success, especially of late, with some of our newer clients who are redoing their website to become mobile-friendly, responsive, and also are interested in getting going with their SEO by starting both of those things simultaneously. And I thought it would be good maybe to talk a little bit about the advantage of doing so.
Absolutely. So when you're creating a website from scratch, or even if you're going to redo an old site and make it new again, something different, a lot of people don't put a lot of thought into how their website should be structured. So one of the things that when we look at people's websites and critique them on these webinars, we're always saying that you should have one product per, or one service page per, one page in the website per service. And what we find a lot of times is there's just a service page or a products page and just list bullet points of everything that they have. And the thing is, that doesn't send Google any very specific signals about the specific things that you do, because it's all just jumbled up on one page. So if you think about it, you want to have one page per service, and then you look at that service page and the content that you have on there. So I was talking to one of our clients that has an ice arena, and they offer figure skating, they offer hockey lessons, they offer rat hockey, which is basically adult hockey in the arena, and they offer public skate. And I remember on the one page, adult hockey. It was adult hockey lessons. I think at the top it just said adult lessons. That's all it said. I said, if you were to take those two words and just punch them into Google, you're probably going to get something that younger children shouldn't see, because you're going to have adult lessons and all the search results that come up there. And I said, does that really tell Google specifically what it is that you have, which is really adult hockey lessons on that page, even though it had its own page and it did talk about hockey and all that stuff, is that it doesn't really communicate directly to Google what this page is about. And so that's kind of the way you got to think about it. Look after you determine, okay, I have these different things, and I'm going to have one page for each. And when I'm going to choose the keyword that I'm going to put on there, does it make sense to the average person that might be searching? And when I punch that word into the search engine, is it going to produce results similar to what I sell with my business? So that's one way to look at it. The other one is we talked about the idea of having hockey lessons versus learn to play hockey. And they said, well, we have a page for both of these things. I said, well, that might be good, that might be bad, but we can actually find out how many people are searching each of those different words to determine where most of the people are coming from. And I said, when someone, and then that's where the relevancy comes in. When someone types in hockey lessons, the intention of that search is to find somebody that's going to pay to take that lesson. Learn to play hockey could go either way. They might be looking to pay someone to learn how to play hockey, or maybe they're just looking for a YouTube video or some information on the internet on how to play hockey. If the search term is how to do a slap shot, you know that they're not looking for a coach to teach them, to pay them to how to do a slap shot. They're literally just looking for an article or a video online on how to do a slap shot with a hockey stick. So you want to look at those keywords and think about what's the intention behind the words that I'm choosing that talk about my service, and make sure A, it's relevant in general, and B, how relevant is it, and is the intention behind that word to really buy what you're selling.
All right. All right. So, Robin, Blake, was there anything on that subject that you think we need to address, though?
I think it's very well done. I have no input right now.
All right. Robin.
Yeah, I mean, Paul touched on a bunch of different topics there.
All right. All right. So I think we're good there. So what are we? What is our next topic that we're going to jump into this afternoon?
I wanted to talk about something pertaining to Amazon here. And Blake, I'll go ahead and share my screen. And by the way, since we're at this little breaking point here, wanted to bring up that on the webinar page, awesomedynamic.com/webinars, not only can you watch the video there, but underneath here we have the chat box set up so you can ask your questions here. And if you are signed in through Google Hangouts, we'll be able to see your questions come through there as well.
But yeah, I saw you just flashed on the homepage there. That looks like a brand spanking new website that I think we might want to just talk about for a second while we have it and brag a little.
Sure, sure. So on here is our brand new website. We actually changed this, and there's something to be learned from this. And in fact, I was covering this with our friends over at Freedom One that run the Freedom One program in Libertyville, the Trinell Financial Group, because we're working with them to do their new website. And there's some strategy behind how we structure this page, and we're going to use that same structure for them. But if you notice, and this is something for the folks that are watching to take away and learn for and use on their site, I have 4 things that I want people to do. I want them to either buy our web design, our SEO services, our seller consulting, or virtual tours. And you'll notice that those are the main navigation items. The blog, contact, webinars, these are up here for a purpose. There aren't the main things that I want people to do, although they are important things I want them to do and access. But the main things I want them to do is contact me about purchasing these services, and that's why they're across the middle here. Secondarily, I have this slideshow going across the page, and what are they talking about? Amazon consulting, search engine optimization, responsive web design, and the virtual tours. So again, I'm hitting them a second time with the things that I want them to do, the places I want them to go on my website. So I'm directing them into one of those buckets that I want them to go into on my website. And then if we take a look down here, what do we have? These are actually the 3 services that I really want people to go to, which is, again, web design, SEO, Amazon. And here they are. So not only can they click on these 4 buttons, these 4 slides, these 3 buttons, or these 3 buttons down here, there's 4 ways for them to slot into one of those buckets that I want them to go into. And that's really on purpose, that almost anything that the eye catches that they could go to goes into one of those buckets that I want them to go into. And that's a strategic decision, and it really filters out all the other stuff where they could get lost on the site. And when they go into those pages, there's going to be more call to action, etc. So, and then there's more content here that they can go through and look at. But really, the first thing they see, they know exactly what we do, and we're directing them in the direction that we want them to go. All right. So Amazon, I wanted to talk about some of the different FAQs that we have down here, because we do have a lot of folks coming to us all the time asking us to help them with their Amazon presence. And one of the things that we do get a lot of questions is this FBA program. Terry, Robin, do you guys know what FBA stands for?
I do.
Great question. It's kind of like the SEO.
That would be fulfillment by Amazon.
That's correct, Terry. Fulfillment by Amazon. And it's right here on the screen, so you got a little cheat sheet there. But fulfillment by Amazon
Where do I do that anyhow?
But Fulfillment by Amazon is a very important program that Amazon offers. So I want to explain what the public side of that is. If you ever go to Amazon and you see that there's free Super Saver shipping within 3 to 5 days, that's because that product is sitting in an Amazon warehouse. 95% likelihood it's sitting in an Amazon warehouse. There's an exception.
2 to 5 days. Part of my interruption.
2 to 5. Thank you, Blake. So it used to be 3 to 5 days before I had a Prime account, which brings me to Prime. So many people know about the Amazon Prime program, and if they're a member of the Prime program, they basically get anything they order on Amazon that has a little Prime tag on it in 2 days for free. And that's a huge advantage to a seller on Amazon, because a lot of these buyers are filtering out products that are not in Amazon warehouses. Many buyers on Amazon are blissfully unaware of whether or not Amazon is selling it or a particular seller. They just want that 2-day free shipping with Prime if they're a Prime member, or they want that free Super Saver shipping if they're not. And oftentimes, people that are in Prime, or even people going after that free Super Saver shipping, are willing to pay more money for an item. You know, maybe it's $2 more or $5 more than they would pay going to the local grocery store to get the same thing. And I want to give you an example for me. Well, first off, before I get there, it could be because they're lazy. It could be because they want to save time. It could be for a lot of reasons. So, yeah, but it happens. The point is, it happens, and it can raise your account sales rate by an average of 30%. The average is a 30% increase in sales if you have all your product in the Amazon FBA program. And they literally take care of all the fulfillment for you and the customer service. So essentially, when you're in the FBA program, you just send all your product to the Amazon warehouses. They tell you which warehouses all that product will go to. You have to ship it to all the different warehouses that they have, depending on where they need it. They determine the demand. If they need to move it, they'll move it. It doesn't cost you anything. And when you do send it into the Amazon warehouse, they pass along their UPS discount, which is something like 70 or 80% off the retail rate. So it's really inexpensive to send it in. And you just got to label your products. They have some other programs where they'll label the products for you, but it's very inexpensive. You pay a little fee for them to do the processing of the orders for you, but then you're not turning your house or your business into a fulfillment center where you're having to ship to all these different individual customers all over the place that are buying from you. You just ship all your product to Amazon. They handle all that stuff for you. And then all those Prime customers get your stuff 2-day free shipping. All those other people who aren't Prime get the stuff 3 to 5. You realize that nice 30% increase in sales on average, and it's just fantastic. But I want to back up to what I was about to say before, which is why I used FBA for something that was more expensive, and that was dog food. And I'm going to tell you why. It wasn't because I was lazy. It had something to do with time. But I want to tell this story because I think it's very real. And that is, when I wanted this 50-pound bag of dog food that I had to get for my 2 boxers that weigh 70 pounds apiece, what I would have to do normally is get into my car. I'd have to drive 15 minutes down the road to the local pet store, park my car, walk into the pet store, find that 50-pound bag of dog food, carry it up to the counter, put it down, check out, buy my product, buy my dog food, pick it back up, walk back out to my car, open the trunk, put it down into the car, close the trunk, drive 15 minutes back to my house, park, open the trunk back up, pick up the 50-pound bag, walk up the stairs, and then it's in my house. And after all that, it probably took me about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic and how quickly I got through the line of the store and everything else. And that bag of dog food cost me $45. Plus a little tax probably got me about 48 bucks. Now, on Amazon, I can click and within 3 seconds have my bag of dog food delivered directly to my door, and it cost me $55. Now, yes, I paid roughly, what was that, about $8 more for the convenience of having an hour of my life back and not having to go through all that stuff. And it just showed up on my door. I dragged the box inside, and bam, I got my dog food 2 days later. And I loved having that convenience. And there's a lot of people who love that convenience for a lot of other reasons, whether it's toothpaste or anything else that you could imagine that you could buy on Amazon. And a lot of people buy through the Prime program just for that reason.
Also, if that product is out of stock locally, it can be in stock on Amazon, so it's another source. But also, some people can get work done in that hour and actually make more money depending on how much money you make in the time it would have taken you to go to the grocery store and back or the dog food store and back. And I think that's going to be a great and big asset that Amazon's going to start providing to people, or anyone that starts delivering food, is just a recent example of being in South America. I had vegetable stores minutes away from my place I was staying, and it was super convenient. After a couple of months, I was very sad to come back and realize I had to do the same thing. The closest grocery store, when there isn't massive amounts of traffic down here in South Florida, is 10 to 15 minutes, but with traffic and lights, it starts taking 20 minutes to get there, 20 minutes to get some food and get back, 20 minutes to cook it all, and by now I've spent an hour, whereas if, hey, I had local grocery delivery service, and I know Amazon has that, I think, in just certain areas of the United States, but it starts saving time, and in that hour, I could be working because I'm lucky and I have the benefit of working at home. So I get to actually save time and continue working, and I don't see anything but benefits from a service such as that. So I think that's another convenience factor that Amazon provides. So having products on Amazon for people can be beneficial to your business because you could be selling more products.
I wanted to bring up one other thing that the FBA program has, because it is really revolutionizing the idea of fulfillment and convenience with shopping online compared to any other vendor out there. And Blake, you wrote this one blog article I'm bringing up, and these drones, and there's a video on here where you can watch these drones, and I'm just going to mute the music here. But essentially, they're actually pushing forward with this program where a drone, and I'll show you what it looks like. So Amazon packing plant, and somebody ordered this item. It's going Amazon Prime Air. It doesn't exist yet, but I foresee it coming soon. Package gets loaded up into this little drone, and the drone is going to fly off to the house and drop it off. Now, although this, and we're going to continue watching this while this is going on, but this idea of this happening, might seem like it's off in the future, but I want to reiterate, maybe not reiterate, but iterate that Amazon is proactively developing their own network of vehicles to deliver products. I don't know how many of you have noticed that you'll see like a little white van show up and deliver a product outside your house on maybe a Sunday or any day of the week. And it didn't come from UPS, it didn't come from USPS, it didn't come from FedEx or DHL, it came from some white van. Amazon is currently in the process of creating their own delivery network of people, and they're contemplating using almost like the Uber model, where somebody could just say,
Yes.
you know what, I've got 3 hours of time. I can deliver some packages. And you sign up with the little app. You can go to the Amazon facility, pick up some packages, and deliver them, and they'll pay you by the hour to do that, and check in all the packages and check them out when you drop them off. So Amazon is being very proactive and innovative with this, and that's all part of this Amazon Prime, which on the seller side is this FBA program. And I want to be part of something that's that innovative because people are going to gravitate to it. So that's that's just the FBA program is just so powerful, and they're just changing the way e-commerce works based on that FBA. Terry, Robin, any comments or questions on that?
Pardon me. No, I think that's really a good summary of FBA, and hopefully people will be checking that out because we do talk about this on a regular basis.
Fantastic. All right. Just wanted to remind everybody that we do have the ability to answer questions during the webinar. I actually haven't been monitoring it because I've been talking about Amazon FBA here.
Or if you want to leave a review.
Ah, yes, we can get into that for a moment. Let me log back in here and see if anybody's been asking any questions. No, Blake, have you been watching it as well?
I have no questions yet.
No questions yet. We do have viewers online. We'd like to encourage you, those viewers, to ask us any questions. Bring up any specific things that you need help with. We'd love to be able to help with that. But in the interim, I'd like to promote that we do, if you do like what you've heard on this webinar and you found it valuable, please come down to the bottom of our website, awesomedynamic.com. There is a Review Us link here that you can click on, and that'll bring you to our Google page where you're able to leave us a 5-star review. We ask you to leave us 5 stars because that helps us get more attention from those folks that are looking for people that are looking for the services that we provide and connect us with them and offer these valuable webinars to them and valuable services to help them grow their business. I haven't rated Awesome Dynamic because I'm the owner and I'm not allowed to. All right.
Good.
I'm following the rules, right, Terry?
Yes, you are.
All right. Terry, maybe since I'm on the line talking about this, talking about just random things, since we don't have any questions, the other thing that I want to bring up is this idea of a review system that's a little bit different than what I just demonstrated. And I know a lot of people really like this idea. I'm going to bring up American National SEO, one of our clients. And what's really interesting about the idea, when they ask somebody for a review, they have that same button at the bottom of the screen here. But what happens is when they click it, it goes to something that looks like a thumbs up and a thumbs down. And the reason we do this is because we want our happy customers to have access to the places where we want them to leave these 5-star reviews. You can see here, if I click the Rate Us 5 stars on Facebook, Yelp, Google, this is great. They're happy. Let's send them to the places where they're going to leave the reviews. However, if we get somebody who clicks on that review button and they're upset, thumbs down. And they come here, oh, how do we make things better? Call my personal cell phone. All right, that's so that we're delivering a very customized message. We're really concerned. Call my personal cell phone. And if you really want to fill out this form, you can. But we're not letting them go to the review sites. We're capturing them. We're going to try and fix the problem before they leave us a negative review. And that can be so powerful to really guide those folks that might be about to leave us a negative review back to us so we can fix the problem. And that's just a really powerful thing that you can implement on your website. And it's simply just 3 pages. We got one page where you got the thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs down goes to a page with a form with a message. The thumbs up goes to a page with a few buttons, and those go to the different sites to leave a rating. And Terry, you've seen a lot of people that really like that concept, haven't you?
Love it. Love it. I love it personally. I just think it's a great way to go, and everybody we've introduced it to has just been thrilled by the idea.
Right, and that's something that I definitely want to start adding. Well, we've added it into our SEO checklist, so this way anybody who does any sort of SEO program with us, that will be something that we'll be setting up with them. And also I was contemplating getting that set up on our website blueprint. So when we start doing a brand new website for somebody, it'll be automatically a part of that. So this way they gain that benefit right out the gate.
Yeah, it's a fantastic way to go, I think.
Great. Let's see. We got about 10 minutes left. If we don't have any additional questions, we can always end a little bit early. Unless there was any items, Terry, that you'd like to bring up in your travels. Where in the world is Terry?
Oh boy. Well, I did want to mention for our local viewers that next week, let me pull it up and make sure I have the right thing here. And are you able to pull up one of the link for the Gaibo? But if not, I was just going to mention that next week in Mundelein on Thursday the 16th. There we go. From 9 to 12 at the Northern Lakes Art Collective on Diamond Lake Road. We're doing in conjunction with the GLMV, our local chamber, and the Mundelein Business Alliance, and of course with Google, a Get Your Business Online seminar, which is a free seminar designed to teach you how to get your Google page started if you don't have one, and make sure it's optimized and that you only have one and it's in good shape when we're all done. So people bring their laptops, their phones, whatever device they have over there, and we're all there, and we work with our local clients or potential clients or anybody who wants to pop on in to get that page going. It's basically a free Google website that everybody should be taking advantage of. It's how you get the reviews. It helps you get found. I think only about 30% of all businesses across the country have one, and we work in different towns with different towns, different chambers to do these seminars to help people get their business online, and we'd love to have everybody go on. There's a link right on here for our Eventbrite page where you can sign up for free and come on out next week and get some help.
Fantastic. And Terry, I got to tell you, I got my my Let's Put Our Cities on the Map shirt on.
There you go.
We'll be handing those out at the event. So anybody that comes over, we'll be able to get you one of those T-shirts. We also have some bags
and free T-shirts. You can't beat it.
Yeah. We got bags. We got Google
Sweet
sticky
pens.
notes. We have pens.
And you get to meet Robin in person.
That's right. All right. Anything else to wrap it up, Terry? I know we typically have this last segment specifically for a website to give some critique. So those of you that are with us, if at any point you want us to critique your website and give you some pointers and tips, it's free advice from the experts. We normally charge for helping folks with this specific information. But when you come to the webinar, it is in a public forum, but we're able to give you a whole bunch of different things that you're able to do either on your own or your own web developer, or you might want to work with us to get that done.
There you go. And did you guys mention, I might have missed it, but we always like to get 5-star Google reviews as well. So if you liked what you saw today, you can go right onto our website and do that for us as well. We always appreciate a great 5-star review.
Fantastic. All right, and then I'm going to bring up one more thing. Blake, if you could share my screen if you're not already. Blake's driving he's our video cameraman.
Shared, good sir.
What's that?
Your screen is shared, good sir.
Great. So if you ever want to come to these webinars, we've set it up so it's really easy. It's just awesomedynamic.com/webinars. Blake's going to update this with the next webinar, which will be next Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. You just come right here to this page and share this with your friends. And remember, we got this chat box here, so it's really easy to do even if you don't have a Google account. All right, back to you, Terry.
All right. Well, I think we're good to sign off then for today. We do these webinars on a weekly basis. We have one coming up next week, and we vary our times, so you can check those all on the website. But I believe we're at 12:30 next week, and we'd love to have you on and ask your questions, see what we can do to help you out. So at this point, I want to thank Blake for doing a great job. Robin also, as always. And the only thing we didn't see Old Man Blake on here today. We're not able to pull that up, or because I think would be a great way to close. Robert, do you have that?
I didn't pull up the picture, but maybe Blake will share it with us. Do you want to pull that up, Blake?
Come on, we gotta end on a bang here.
Takes one. Let me find that. we were at our last webinar, and Tim decided to. Oh, here we go.
Can't believe we got Blake to do it, huh?
I'll do the before maybe.
Ah,
There we
So
go. I just saw it for a second there. There we go.
that's
nice.
a cool story, guys.
In case
Very
Blake,
good.
in case Blake was wondering what he was going to look like down the road, we have answered that question for him.
Those are some mega glasses, Blake.
Yeah, he's got to pick it up the glass. And we like the turtleneck effect also.
Yeah.
The beard is shorter though. So
All right, well, on that happy note, I think we're going to sign off now. So for Robin, for Blake, and for Paul, this is Terry from Awesome Dynamic. Again, I can be reached at terry@awesomedynamic.com if you'd like to be featured on one of these webinars. And we look forward to seeing you down the road.
take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.